Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another live watch long show on Forward Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. Our watch alongs continue as part of the Club World Cup series. Today, we'll be watching the semi final between Fluminense and Chelsea. So, before the match begins in about a minute or so, what we'll do, we'll quickly go through the lineups and see who is starting today. So, for Fluminense, you've got Fabio in goal. You've got De Silva Oliveira on our right hand side. Thiago Silva, of course, former Chelsea defender, in the heart of the defense. And you've got Santos on the left side. So Fluminense will be playing a back three today. And in terms of your midfield five, you've got Guga on the right hand side, Rene on the left hand side. Then you've got Donato, Bernal, and Hercules. And then up top, you've got Cano and Arias leading the line. And for Chelsea, we've got Sanchez remaining in goal. In terms of your back four, you've got Cucurella, Odarabioya, you've got Shalaba, and you've got Gusto. And your double pivot, you've got Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. So very strong midfield there. And then you've got Nkunku on the left, Cole Palmer through the middle in the number 10 role, and you've got Neto on that right hand side. And we've got a debut for João Pedro as well, the new Chelsea signing from Brighton. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how he performs today. Now, in terms of the bench, for Fluminense, you've got Brito, Soteldo, Sturm, Ganso, Kino, Fuentes, Canobio, Rescano, La Vega, Manuel, Isaac, and you've got De Lima, and then you've got Baya, Sona, and Udez. So to be fair, no, I'm not too familiar with the players on the bench. So it'll be interesting to see, if any of them have an impact today. In terms of the Chelsea bench, there will be some familiar names. You've got Madueke, Jorgensen, Nicholas Jackson. We've got Michael Buffer, announcing the match in the background. Yeah, seen it all now. You've got Nicholas Jackson, you've got Andre Santos, you've got Mamadou Sarr, you've got Dewsbury Hall, Reece James, Aaron Anselmino, you've got Tariq George, Achampong as well, Mark Gui. He's not really had a chance in the Chelsea shirt, has he? He was signed from Barcelona last year, 18 years old. Now he's probably turned 19. Hasn't really had much game time, so something for him to ponder because there's a lot of attacking options on the bench here and in the Chelsea squad in general. And you've also got Mike Penders and you've got Gabriel Slonina. So that is the Chelsea bench. So slightly inexperienced, but you still got, the likes of Madueke, Jackson, Dewsbury Hall, and Reece James to come on. You've got Tariq George as well, a young up and coming winger. You've got Ajampong as well, who's a decent right back as well. So yeah, they've got some decent options. So let's see how they perform today. The kickoff is underway now. Chelsea starting the game with the kickoff, so they've won the toss. Feel free to let me know in the chat who you think will win today. Bit more of a can't quite say sellout, but more of a crowd today in comparison to the games in the earlier stages of the tournament. So good to see, some sort of crowd in the stadium today. Hopefully it'll add to the atmosphere. Big up to Ozzy come back in the chat. Says big up Ozzy. I'm still hurting, man. This has scarred me forever. I hear you. It's taken me quite a few days to come to terms with. If I'm being honest with you, it still feels quite surreal. It's it it's I feel like once the season starts, then it might come to realization that he's not around. But it's a really hard one. I wasn't able to do content over the last few days just for a number of reasons. Personally, I wasn't in the right sort of headspace to do content. I didn't feel like it was the right time to talk about football. And I thought, out of respect as well, it's best to not do anything, until I feel like it's the right time for myself, for of course my viewers and the football community in general. So, both brothers were. Um, the funeral took place on Saturday, so they are in a good place now, I guess. Um, but my thoughts and prayers to the family, to the friends, to all the loved ones. Um, it's very hard to kind of just move on from such a traumatic loss because it just kind of came out of nowhere. So it's very, very difficult. So Liverpool, I think the players actually returned to training today. That's going to be, a strange atmosphere. Not seeing Jota within the changing rooms, and it's going to be definitely a different environment. And I also feel like it's going to have an impact on our season. And it will take time for the players to kind of get back to normal to an extent. I really hope the players don't feel too down going forward and use this sort of like experience to do it for Jota. Try their ultimate best. Give it that extra yard and make Jota proud next season. I think that would be the best way to you know do it in his name as well. Do it for his family. Also in terms of the family, it wasn't a huge surprise because we know how Liverpool Football Club run as a club, but also we're a family club. We're different to the others. And I'm not just being biased. 'Cause I'm a Liverpool fan, but Liverpool have gone through traumatic experiences or events over the years, unfortunately. And we've always rallied together and we've always done things the right way. So I was pleased to hear that the club have paid or are going to support the family by paying off the remainder of Jota's contract and also help in terms of financial support for the kids in terms of the education until they're 18. So these are little things. This is of course not going to help the family in terms of the short term in terms of going through this difficult time to stay strong and to be patient, but it gives them some sort of peace of mind that they are being looked after, and I'm sure the players who are close to Jota's family will definitely help her, and that's all you can ask for at this time and in time and age where you see who are your real peoples and who's really going to show you support during a difficult time. So hopefully, the players, the family and friends involved, they can support his missus. Of course, they just got married a couple of weeks ago. So I hope, she's probably absolutely distraught right now. The kids are still quite young, but they will fill his void, and as well as their uncle. So it's a huge loss. And for the parents as well, they've lost two sons. Um, yeah, which I can't even imagine, what they're going through. So yeah, it's not something that we're going to just be, happy as Larry all over again. It's going to stick with us for a long time, maybe even forever. If I'm being honest with you, you don't forget these sort of moments. Um, but we have to show support to the family, but also we have to kind of life goes on, which is a very harsh thing to say, but we have to kind of keep it moving, I guess, but also, do things in a positive light as well. And one thing I made a comment last week on one of my shows, I think it was once I heard the news about Jota passing away, is that, when we criticize players, try and be a bit more calculated, be a bit more, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't don't base your opinion on personal things, or go attacking on players on a personal level. They are human beings. I know we hold them for at a very high level, but at the same time, you can criticize someone in terms of their football performance, but let's not go overboard with criticism and be disrespectful, because it just shows you life is very short, and Josh is no longer with us. So when you have players in your squad like that, it's important to show your flowers and you know support your team as well. And that's hopefully what we're going to do as fans this season. We're going to support our team. It's going to be difficult. Um, it was never going to be a walk in the park to challenge for major honors, but emotionally, this will definitely have some toll on the players. But when you have that kind of energy, I feel like you got to try and use that energy to your advantage, and add the sort of like a flame in you to make sure that you're giving everything you can to make Jota proud next season, and for years as well. Like, make him proud next season in terms of how we perform. So hopefully, Liverpool can use that energy, and hopefully, when these sort of things happen, unfortunately, in life, um, it can break people, but it can also bring people closer together as well. So hopefully, that can do that with this squad. So yeah, I'm praying that the players are okay. It must be so difficult to be in this kind of situation. Um, I've already seen some fans make comments about certain players not being at the funeral and stuff, but I don't really want to get into that, because I don't know, the context of these sort of things, and I don't want to speculate. It's too sensitive to speak about things like that. Um, but yeah, we'll try and do our best over the season to speak positively about Jota, and obviously, it's not something we're gonna forget overnight. So yeah, it's taken me a few days to you know sit down and think about being a content creator as such. Um, because football just felt like it wasn't important for a few days. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but yeah, hopefully, we can kind of go back to normal sort of scheduling, I guess, but also, you know, speak positively about the player and just try and do things the right way. So hopefully we can do that in the course of this season. Um, DJ Warrior says what exactly time the match is going to start. So it's actually just started. DJ Juarez. It has started 10 minutes ago. So I'm on the 10th minute on my footage right now. So yeah, it's just started. Still 0-0. No real shots. I know I'm talking, but I'm still watching at the same time. I haven't really seen any real attacks from either team right now. Chelsea look like they're a bit more on the front foot, a bit more aggressive in possession, but otherwise, um, yeah, nothing that has troubled the keeper or anything to that nature. Did you worries with how much this? So yeah, you got yourself there. Ozzie, come back to the beautiful words of tribute, Ozzy. Oh, thank you. Appreciate your kind words there. Um, yeah, with the Jota one, honestly, I don't know if you guys have watched the tribute show that took place yesterday on LFC TV. If you don't have access to it, they do have the whole show available on YouTube. It was a great tribute um, from sort of former players, but the likes of Phil Thompson, people of age as well. They unfortunately gone through Hillsborough, so they gave their perspective as well, and just speaking of some very wise words. And then you can just see, the footage of the memorial outside of Anfield, where I don't even know how long it is, but it is like a country mile full of tributes and people, laying flowers down or shirts or messages in respect to Diogo Jota and his brother Andre. Yeah, it was very, very touching to see um, the fans doing that. And it's not just local fans; there were fans from all over the country that came over to pay their respect. So it's very, very, positive to see the football community as well. they've come together as well and said some really nice things about Jota, which is good because it's all good about having this banter and rivalry, but at some point you have to put that to one side, and it's all about what's important, and that is us being human beings, and when someone's going through some difficult times, show your support, whether it's through your words or through your actions. It's very, very important in this day and age. So yeah, it was a great tribute. I was watching some of his goals as well. Yeah, it hit me even more yesterday when I was watching that. And we're always gonna see things on social media. It's just the way it works, isn't it? And you'll see old clips of him in interviews and uh, just seeing his personality, where he was just such a down to earth, humble person. I loved his FIFA. At one point I heard that he was one of the best in the world. That's how good he was. Um, Nothing flashy about him. And I have to just say one thing out loud. One thing that really irritated me today was, well, there's two things, but today was Sky Sports basically reporting or mentioning the details of the accident. I feel like that's unnecessary. The funeral had just taken place a couple of days ago. We don't need to know that kind of details. What good does that do to anyone? And honestly, I don't want to sound very blunt when I say this, but those details don't matter to me. Unfortunately, both people have passed away, and you know, the family, loved ones, and friends are mourning right now. So you can't just reveal these details like it's going to bring some sort of you know I don't know what the word is, but it's not going to help um the current sort of situation where people are coming down to terms, and they're trying to pay their tributes to Jota. I feel like they're just trying to tarnish his image a little bit by referencing what happened in the accident. But it's an accident. He didn't do anything crazy. He didn't do anything to put other people's life at risk. It was just an unfortunate incident that unfortunately happened. Daily Mail did not help. That they were revealing too much content on the day and the other day and the second day when it happened. I think that I haven't seen it because I try to refrain from seeing stuff like that. Even if it pops up, I try and close the app promptly. Showing pictures and video footage and all that sort of stuff. People need to grow up a little bit. It's not all about clicks and these kind of social media moments. You have to be human and respect people, into the respect the family, respect people that care about Jota. That you can't just show things like that. It's improper. Unfortunately, we've got the technology where you got cameras everywhere and all that sort of stuff, but it's not necessary. Like, read the room. Like, we don't need to see that sort of stuff. We're already in disbelief in terms of what's happened. Why are you showing us stuff like that? For me, Sky Sports today really irked me. I didn't even watch the full interview, but I saw it sort of like it was on my phone. I saw the subtitles rolling through, and I can read what they're saying, but I'm not really hearing it because I don't want to hear it in my ears. But yeah, I just thought it was very, very unnecessary to do that. Um, he got laid to rest on Saturday. Like, let it be. We don't need to talk about what occurred on that day. It's unnecessary at this point. A lot of people have lost, someone close to them in Jota and his brother Andre Silva. Let's be a bit more respectful. But when it comes to these media outlets, you just never know what they're about. It's all for views and clicks, and that really annoys me. And I even saw a couple of clowns on TikTok trying to make money off the news when it broke on Thursday. Like, come on, have some shame, have some morals. Like, why are people doing that? Honestly, this day and age, I don't know what's wrong with certain people. They've got no empathy, no morals, no like principles in terms of what is right, what is wrong. that is completely wrong. Don't be trying to make money off someone that's just passed away. But yeah, it's just a day and age we live in, unfortunately, where some people are so glued onto social media, like they just feel like they have to showcase everything, but then also they feel like it's a way of, getting monetized as well, which for me is unacceptable. So, but yeah, long live Diogo Jota, forever 20. Um, he's gone, but he'll never be forgotten. So hopefully, the Liverpool team can shine some light on Jota throughout the season and make him proud and make the family proud as well. Oh, what a goal! Is that João Pedro? What a finish there. He's not celebrating. Is he a former Fluminense player? He must be because he's trying to show respect to the opposition. But that was a fantastic goal. I'm not gonna lie. What a finish that was. So yeah, he came through the ranks of Fluminense. Yeah, so showing respect to his boyhood club, I guess. What a goal! Great finish. He's onside, so good layoff there from Pedro to Neto, and Neto, good cross. Not the best of clearance from Thiago Silva, but the finish, wow, what a finish! Honestly, it had the high, it had the dip, it had the curve, it had literally everything. What a strike that was! Chelsea might have found themselves a gunman right now. It appears. Great finish. Some Liverpool fans might be like, "Oh, did we not sign him?" Maybe that might be the vibe that some fans will be going towards. But I've always thought he's a good player. I just don't know if he was the right fit for us, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's Chelsea's game at the minute. They'll probably still want to sign another strike at some point. So um, we'll see where his position. But right now he's leading the line, and yeah, that was a fantastic finish. Wasn't come back since Dan Watt strike. Yeah, the beautiful strike. To be fair, um, wow, Japan was a product of the Fluminense Academy. I didn't know that until I literally just searched it up as well. And yeah, you're right. No wonder he didn't celebrate. Because I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's a Brazilian team, but normally players don't really do that. Like, imagine playing for a foreign team and you score against the English team. You're not gonna just be like, oh, let me respect the English team. It must be a team that you've played for. So I just checked as well. Yeah, he's come through the academy. He actually played for them 29 times and scored 5 goals before he moved over to Watford in 2020. So yeah, definitely a bittersweet moment for the player. He's scoring his first goal for Chelsea, but also scoring against his boyhood club. But no, lovely finish from João Pedro. All the course is Ozzie, I don't want these London clubs still in the tournament, man. Boy, they nearly scored the second goal. Gusto with the header on that near post. He should have buried it, to be honest with you. I hear you, because I don't feel like this trophy has any weight in regards to it being like a major tournament, and I might sound disrespectful when I say that, but Chelsea fans will somehow make it like it is, and they will just be shameless about it. But I hear you. They're gonna make so much money. They are. So if they win it, they get 100 mil apparently, right? So yeah, that 100 mil might, help them balance the book. So it might help them sign another player of high profile. It doesn't stop Chelsea from spending money on players. So yeah, if they win it, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit annoying. I'm not gonna lie, but let's see. They still have to go through Fluminense, and the second semi-final, which will be PSG against Real Madrid, will take place tomorrow, and I'll be doing a watch along for that as well. So yeah, so it'll be an interesting watch tomorrow, and then we'll hopefully get to watch as in the final takes place on Sunday. But I'm not 100% sure if I'll be available, but I will try my best to do a watch along for that game as well. So yeah, should be a decent final, and nonetheless. But my viewpoint about the tournament hasn't really changed since probably the first game. It just has preseason vibes to me. It doesn't really have that competitive edge. There's been some games where it's had those kind of moments, but not so much so where I feel like, you know what, this is a great tournament. I've never really had that kind of vibe. I'm not just saying that because Liverpool aren't in it. I'm actually quite pleased Liverpool aren't in it because I do feel like it's going to impact Chelsea's season in terms of the Premier League. And I also think Man City, who of course got knocked out by Al Hilal, but they were still, they played to a good level themselves and got through to the latter stages as well. So definitely have an impact on their season and their fitness going into the start of the season. Great ball from Enzo to Gusto, good control. Lifting the F to Nkuku. You can't hit the first time shot though. Oof. Tackles flying everywhere. Enzo and Fernandez. Enzo and Caicedo, Enzo and Fernandez. That's the same person. Um, Other comeback says PSG and Real Madrid, you literally have one job. They do. So let's not bottle it, please. You have to stop Chelsea. Yeah, you have to. I've gone for PSG to win the tournament, so that's been my prediction from the beginning. So hopefully, that could be a reality, I guess. Cole Palmer showing some strength there, but unable to regain the ball. Free kick to Fluminense. Fluminense giving the ball away. Cucurella to João Pedro. Good flick there. Cole Palmer not on the same wavelength, unfortunately. Caicedo, strong tackle there, but still somehow Fluminense get the ball. Arias. Oh, Cano to Arias. Arias didn't get it. Is that a goal? No, it's no goal. Cucurella's cleared it off the line there. Thiago Silva on a marauding run. Lamps Caicedo there. Had to be done, let's be honest. Got to see a replay. Good 1-2 between Arias and Cano there for Fluminense. Caicedo, lovely pass there to Enzo Fernandez. Oh, poor pass there from Enzo. Has three players in front of him. The option wasn't the worst option in terms of Cole Palmer because he was swaying away from the player, but the through ball was poorly executed. Should have done better there. Enzo Fernandez has fallen to ground. Not sure what's happened to him. Did he get hit on the back of his head? I remember seeing that. Not sure what's happened there. The 1-2. Thought he overplayed it, but fair play to Arias. He managed to get the shot. Very unlucky. Oh no. He didn't even touch the line to be fair. So good clearance from Cucurella. The Fluminense fans thought they got the equalizer there. Enzo getting a bit of treatment right now. seems to be okay. Should be fine to continue. So look at the goal again. Fantastic try from João Pedro, honestly. Keeper, I wouldn't question his position there. I feel it was just a very well executed shot there. Wasn't come out with the comment says Ozzy thoughts on Lucha apparently handing in a request, transfer request. Is that official? Ah, okay, that's some breaking news for me. Thank you for letting me know. I'll be doing a show later on tonight at 10:30 to speak about Diaz, but I didn't realize that he did a transfer request. So, uh, it's a strange because I thought, God rest his soul, but even before Jota passed away, I always thought Diaz had to stay at Liverpool just because I feel like it weakens us if he was to leave. But I do understand his point of view in terms of wanting to leave. He's not been assured that he'll get a new contract or anything to that nature in terms of improved terms. So for him, he's probably looked at his sort of stance right now or his current position right now where he's 28, 29 years of age. He might not ever get that kind of pay rise or pay package unless he leaves the club. So there's been a lot of interest from the Saudi teams the last few months, but I think his heart has always been to join a team like Barcelona. If not, I think he would like to probably stay in Europe. So for him to hand in a transfer request is slightly unorthodox in terms of, our players don't normally do that because as a club, if a player shows any sort of stance that they don't want to stay and they want to move on, we kind of let them, have their wish, and we try and find the best suitor for them. If that's the case, it's a kick in the teeth. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Ozan Kabak also comment saying apparently he's agreed personal terms as well with Bayern. So I know Bayern were the team. So that's what I heard yesterday in terms of they agreed personal terms, but I wasn't familiar that he actually did a transfer request as well. So that kind of puts a different spin to the story. Because now when you hand in your transfer request, that's you just basically saying, "I'm fed up. I'm not here to stay now." You can't really come back from a transfer request. I don't think that's ever happened. If it has happened at another club, that player hasn't done well. It doesn't normally work out like that. So um, I know Gerard's done that. And, he changed his mind in like a space of 28, 48 hours. But that was a slightly different situation. This is something that's been brewing for quite a while, and I think the club have, remained consistent in their stance in regards to not offering him a new contract. Do I agree with that? No. I do believe he is entitled to have a new contract because I think he's performed really well for us, especially last season. I think it's probably his best season in a Liverpool shirt. I just feel like, he's just ready to improve on that. I don't think that's the best he can ever produce. I think he can literally build on that next season. So Liverpool have to be very careful here. But at the same time, let's not forget who's back in charge of football operations, and that is Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. So, they're probably a bit more cutthroat, a bit more, ruthless when it comes to these sort of transfer decision making. And maybe they've gone through the database and gone through the stats and thought, you know what, this is the right time to sell him. So be it. But it's not going to be easy to replace Luis Diaz. The reported fee is around 70 million pounds. I think 80 million in euros, but in pounds it's 70 million. If you're going to find a like for like replacement, you're definitely paying that price. Maybe a little bit more depending who you're targeting. But I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed about this one if that is true. But we'll touch on a bit more on the show later on tonight because I know we've been earmarked to target Rodrigo as his replacement. You know, I'm not convinced by that move, if I'm being honest with you, but we'll see. I'm sure things will gather up in the coming days. Um, but yeah, that's a bit of a shock one to me. I didn't realize it was a transfer request. The terms I heard about yesterday, in terms of him agreeing terms, and he's made it very public that he wants to leave the club because he said that he's negotiated with other clubs, which you don't normally do. I guess maybe in the background you do, but you don't reveal that very publicly in that way. And he's not really been around the bush, so uh, yeah, that's a strange one. I'm not going to lie. Um, but yeah, we'll talk about it a bit more detail later on tonight on the show. Yeah, Liverpool got a lot of work to do. What's going on? Fluminense have just been awarded a penalty. Cucurella looking very, very disappointed. The referee saying, "Hang on, guys, give me some space. Let me speak to the boys in the VAR office. Let me come to a decision with them." Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, that's handball. It's handball because it's not a natural position. He's hit him, but then he's trying to like flick the ball away. I think that's a pen to Fluminense. Oh, he's going to the monitor now. Ozan Kabak's literally coming while I was thinking in my head, thinking, come on. So it's not a penalty. They got life there. I thought that was a penalty. No, because the thing is, it's not like it's sometimes in those kind of situations, if there's a very small distance between the attacker and the defender, then you can't understand it. It's very hard to move your hand away. But there's quite a bit of distance, and the hand didn't seem like it was in that position. Like you can see the hand moving towards his left, as in away from his body to try and stop the ball. So for me, incorrectly, I think that should have been a penalty to Fluminense. But we move. Well, can I say in the Prem that's a pen? Yeah, definitely is. It's probably a pen in most leagues, to be fair. Maybe don't let's say anything unethical, but maybe Chelsea got a brown envelope in the referee's office. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think that was the right call. To be fair, especially when you're using VAR and all that sort of stuff. Like, come on, it's so obvious, but you know. Different rules, I guess, in different countries and different officials and different way of looking at football. But for me, that was quite obvious. That was a penalty, and it should have been awarded to Fluminense, but fortunately, it hasn't been. So move on. 38 minutes played, still 1-0 to Chelsea. Let's hope Fluminense can bounce back and not dwell on this decision too much. It's a penalty. The more I watch it, the more I'm convinced it's like it's 100% a penalty. I feel like it gets worse and worse the more I watch it, thinking, how has that not been given? Honestly. And if Chelsea get the goal before halftime, I think it's game over. Because that'll just be deflating for Fluminense to try and bounce back. So the best thing for them to do is just forget about that and try and concentrate on the game plan now. Try and get that goal before halftime if they can. But also don't give anything away now. And Cuckoo currently on the ball right now. Cuts in, finds Enzo. Enzo unable to get the ball out of his feet there. Shalaba on the ball. Good interception there from Neto. Neto driving the ball. Cuts in. Oh, good. Maybe that was one touch too many there. Very unlucky. Very interesting to see Madueke not in the starting lineup. Strongly linked with a move to Arsenal. On paper, it's not a bad signing for them because I feel like he covers that right wing position, which they don't have cover for. Whenever um, Saka is unavailable, they don't really have a like for like replacement. So he fits that bill very well and can also play on the left wing. But for me, he's not a starter. So if they do sign him, they're definitely trying to get someone for that left wing because I don't feel like Martinelli is that guy anymore. So it's definitely a position that they need to upgrade on. Whether they uh, do or don't, we'll see. Apparently, they're also on the verge of signing Victor Gyökeres as well from Sporting Lisbon. The hunt for striker for the last 2 years is almost coming to an end. So let's see, what happens with that. I feel like on paper that should be a sign that should really excite the Arsenal fans, but there's always a bit of reservation just because, you know, there's no guarantee that he will cut it, if that makes sense, because he's not Premier League proven. Um, he's been banging the goals in the Portuguese league, but will he replicate that in the Premier League? That's a huge task. So, let's see what happens. But at least they have, or they are on the verge of signing a striker, someone to lead their line. And I think it's probably one of the better options in the market because he's more experienced and, he should be able to hit the ground running to an extent. And once he's accustomed to the intensity of the league, you know, I feel like he should be fine to be prolific in that Arsenal team because he will get chances created for him. So let's see what happens in terms of Arsenal. But Liverpool, we've got a bit of work to do in terms of acquiring a striker in our team. Of course, there's only one name that we all really want, whether it happens or not. I don't know. There's no real strong indication to say it will or it won't. But it looks like we've only got one target in mind because we're not really pursuing any other striker. So yeah, let's see what happens with Liverpool. But at the minute, Chelsea, they're putting in the work right now. They've gotten João Pedro, who looks a decent signing, to be fair. Whether he's the final striker that comes into the club this summer remains to be seen. Chelsea like to buy in bulk when it comes to players in the market. So let's see if they do sign more players in this window, which I'm sure they will, to be honest with you. Ozan come out with the comment says Ozzy today's both Van Dijk and Heung-min Son's birthday. Didn't know that. I did know it's Heung-min Son. I did know it's Van Dijk. So happy birthday to our captain. Back to the game. Fluminense on the attack there on that right wing. Renato on the ball. Arias dropping a bit deeper than normal. Good tackle from Caicedo, but Arias does really well to control the ball. Guga, oh, Caicedo does really well to track back, but Arias still has the ball to Guga. Guga with a cross, not bad cross. Oh, Hercules controlled the ball, just couldn't hit the shot in the end. Maybe controlled it too well, if that makes sense. It needed to be in front of him. He literally killed the ball on the spot, and that way he just couldn't, find that space to hit the shot with any power. So very unlucky there for the midfielder. Ozan come back with the comment says Chelsea gonna rock up with 5 coach busters to every away game next season. I wouldn't be surprised. They like to park a bus or coach, don't they? So yeah, I would not be surprised at all. 5 minutes of stoppage time before the halftime whistle. Oh, they're giving the ball away. Enzo Fernandez through to Neto. Can he shoot? Oh, he shoots. Kind of swiped at it. Ends up hitting the Fluminense defender and a corner kick to Chelsea. To be honest with you, the defender did really well to put pressure on him like that. Otherwise, he probably would have had a clean shot on goal. Ignacio with the clearance there. Neto with a corner kick. Oh, and Cuckoo with the header. Unfortunately, unable to hit on target. Difficult one because the cross didn't really have a lot of power. So he had to take that leap and generate power on the header. Difficult one there for the French striker. Jose Cava says 50 players on the matchday squad. That's wild. I still got that high number right now, honestly. And the crazy thing is they're still signing players. It hasn't slowed them down. It's not like they get rid of a lot of players either. And when they do tend to get rid of players, they tend to send it over to Arsenal. So yeah, I'm not sure how fans feel about that, but I always feel like they take Chelsea's leftovers. That's what it comes across. So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure there'll be a lot of you know moves taking place in the next few weeks before the season begins. Liverpool have their first preseason game this Sunday against Preston. Neto on the ball right now. Chelsea managed the game with their slow build-up play, which is probably the right thing to do before half-time. Tossing on the ball. Oh, tossing. Poor pass. What was that? That was awful. Literally had all the space in the world. No one's pressing on him. Routine pass to, a few players around him, and I'm completely missing his target. I say they're conceding a free kick there to Fluminense. Ozzie in the comment says, Bowley has lawyers who understand all the FFP and PSR rules. They certainly do because they find loopholes like it's nothing. So they know exactly how to work the system, and they do it very effortlessly because they were the first club to be offering 8, 9 year contracts, which was very unheard of at that time. And they're selling their women's club and buying it over again. Like they know what they're doing. Honestly, they really do. The sort of the FFP and the PSR rules, I feel like it only affects the teams, that are sort of mid table, like those sort of teams, the teams that aren't able to generate revenue through, marketing and business partnerships and all that sort of stuff. That's for the big boys to kind of generate their money. Other teams, they don't have that kind of spectrum. They can't match the likes of Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, even Chelsea, United to an extent. So, you know, they're always going to generate revenue to a high level that allows them to spend big in the summer windows or any transfer window in general. So that's why the likes of Newcastle, they're all struggling because they've got very wealthy owners, but they don't generate the money from a business point of view. They're not making enough profit to have a big budget to spend on their squad. That's why if Liverpool can help them out and get Isak off their hands, then they've got the funds to reinvest into a squad. So hopefully we can make that happen and provide some help there for Newcastle. But until then, we'll have a short break, and once we return, we can continue our fan chat, and then we can watch the rest of the game between Fluminense and Chelsea. So I'll be back very soon. So hopefully I'll see you guys very, very shortly. Hello, guys. Welcome back to the second half of Fluminense versus Chelsea. Let me bring the scoreboard back up for you guys. There we go. Still 1-0 to Chelsea. Let's see what they can produce now in the second half. Sanchez on the ball for Chelsea. Let me check. I don't think there's been any substitutions, but I'll double check. No substitutions from either side. And Cuckoo, great tackle there from the Fluminense defender. Cole Palmer switches it. Not the best ball, but Pedro Neto will keep it in play. Not really. He just broke the corner flag. That was a poor ball, honestly. Cole Palmer with acres of space to execute that ball. Poorly done. A heavy touch from Cole Palmer, but still finds Enzo. And Cuckoo. Neto trying to amend the broken flag. Yeah, that's done. Oh no, he's managed to fix it. Hassel shoots. Lashed on that one, unfortunately. Almost hit the face of one of the Chelsea fans there. Jimenez lose the ball. Cole Palmer trying to make something happen on the edge of the box. Finds Cucurella. Cucurella with the cross. Gusto tries to hook it back into the danger zone, but headed away. By Fluminense, corner kick to Chelsea. Neto. Kopama tried to position himself with the shot. Unable to hit the ball there, unfortunately. Offside was a free kick to Chelsea, but offside given. Well over the shot. Drags it wide there. Fluminense have brought on a striker. Arias has also been taken off. Neto, good tackle there from Fluminense. Doing the counter. He was just come on, number 9. He's got the ball. What can he do? He shoots. Oh, decent shot on goal. Carried away by Sanchez. For me, he never looks convincing in goal, Sanchez. Gorilla. I will play that through ball there. Rene driving the ball to Keno. Oh, couldn't lay it off to Bernal there. Good tackle there from Hercules. Oh no, Chelsea on the counter. Ja Pedro. He shoots. Can't lie. That was a great goal. He is the difference maker in this game. What a strike. Cuts in, smashes it, crossbar and in. Can't deny quality when you see that on your screen. Great finish from the Chelsea striker. And he scored it at such a pivotal time because Fluminense were definitely on the front foot. They were definitely trying to get that quick equalizer now. That's probably deflated their attitude now, their morale to try and get back into the game. And Fernandez, great through ball to him. Cuts in. And what a strike. Honestly. I know it's inside the box, but still, here with real purpose. Crossbar in, unstoppable. Great finish, honestly. Great finish from the new Chelsea signing. Gozan Kababiga says FFS. They wrote game, set, match. Come on, Real Madrid or PSG. Yep. Hopefully one of those teams can put Chelsea in their place. But as it stands, it looks like Chelsea will be heading to the final on Sunday. Great double from João Pedro. I'm sure he'll try and want to get a hat trick for his efforts today. Thiago Silva, a little bit disappointed with his defending there. Arguably, maybe could have closed down a bit better, but the shot, you can't deny that quality. It was a fantastic strike from the striker. No. Augusto almost gave the ball away there. João Pedro's got a kick on the ankle. I'm not sure who the player was. Nonato, it was. João Pedro looks like he's in a lot of pain. It's a sore one. He should be fine. Nicholas Jackson is being brought on for Chelsea, and he will be replacing João Pedro. Okay. Maybe they didn't want to risk him any further, or maybe he was already scheduled to leave the pitch around this time. Nonetheless, a fantastic debut for Chelsea. 2 goals to his name. So great appearance there from the Brazilian striker. I was thinking, I said we could have used João Pedro Ozzie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking that right now as the game is going on. We could do João Pedro in our squad, couldn't we? Like he didn't have to be like number one choice, but off the bench he would have been a great option for us. So yeah, maybe it's a missed opportunity from Liverpool. Hopefully, we can sign the right players to complete our squad. Still feel there's a bit of work to do. I think we still need to get a centre back. I'd love another midfielder. I'm not sure if that would be the case, but I do think we're going to end up signing a couple of attackers as well. So we're not done in terms of our business. Keno, wayward shot there. He's trying to tell his striker, go a bit more inside the box. Listen, that cross was going nowhere because it wasn't a cross; it was a shot, more or less, wasn't it? So yeah, poor delivery there from Keno. And Fernandez, lovely pass towards Jackson. Good first touch, but Thiago does really well in terms of the defending there. Oh, so it was not Thiago; it was Ignacio. Caicedo's been relentless here. Honestly, he's been very aggressive in his pressing, closing down Fluminense in any opportunity. It's definitely a standout performer today for Chelsea. Nope. Kino seems to be in pain, saying that he was fouled by Caicedo. I feel like he used his body really well there. Jackson walked to ground by Ignacio. Yeah, it's a foul. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't think that was a foul on Kino, to be fair. It was a smart challenge from Caicedo. Shalaba. Chelsea all ready to spend big on strikers and attacking wingers and all that sort of stuff. I feel they got to adjust their defense as well. I don't think it's the best defense right now. Oh, and Cuckoo trying to replicate what João Pedro did in the first half. Unfortunately, his shot gets a huge deflection. I actually feel like João Pedro is Nkuku's replacement. It's just that Nkuku hasn't found the club. I do expect him to leave this window. One of the teams that he was strongly linked to was actually Barcelona. I'm not sure if Barcelona will be able to sign him. United were one team as well that wanted to acquire his services. Could happen. You never know. Kuka's a good player, but I think more so is his injuries. He's been hampered with a lot of injuries in the last couple of years. Therefore, he's not made a great impact at Chelsea. But there's still a talented player in Nkuku. So if he does move on, I think he'll be a good signing for whoever he joins. Jackson to Caicedo. Cucurella. Nice pass from Caicedo to Gusto. Cole Palmer driving down that right hand side. I thought he was going to pass the through ball. He doesn't. To Nkuku. Oh, he took too long. No. Needed to be more precise, more direct in that moment. Cut in and shoot. Just did too much there in the end. And due to that, the defenders closed the gap and he wasn't able to find a lethal shot on goal. He did end up finding a shot, but it was comfortably saved by the keeper. Jackson tries to get past Ignacio, but Fluminense claim the ball. Eve or Everaldo holding on to the ball. There's another change for Fluminense. Nonato is coming off and has been replaced by Soteldo. For Palmer on the counter attack for Chelsea, drives the ball. He cuts in. Can he shoot? He's trying to find the space. He can't find it. Finds Neto. Neto the cross to Nkuku. Has it towards the danger zone, but cleared away by Ignacio. Just with a shot. Oh, just missed the target there. Another cold effort from a Chelsea player. It was going wide, too fair. Not the best of execution from the right back. Madueke is coming on to replace Neto, as well as Reece James, who is making his cameo. And he'll be replacing Gusto, who's just had his last contribution to the game with his shot. Cole Palmer fouled on the right hand side. I think the referee's giving him a free kick. Fluminense have made a few substitutions. Palmer fouled it, but no free kick given. On the on the left hand side, sorry. Oh, Oh, number 7 there. Lashed down Cucurella. Got a yellow for it. You know, if VAR review that incident, it could be further punishment. It looked like a quite blatant uh, slap on the neck there, I guess. Looking at the replay. Oh, Fulham got a bit on his face there. Doesn't look like he'll be getting further punishment, so a yellow card it is. Yellow card given to Sanchez for time wasting. Oh, ball given away there. Chelsea on a counter attack. Cucurella, the cross, great cross. Cole Palmer didn't seem too impressive. I thought it was a good cross from the left back. Maybe he was expecting it on the ground rather than at that height. Let's have a look. That's a great cross. I'm not sure what he's complaining about. It's good defending from Thiago Silva. The cross was perfectly executed, in my opinion. Bit harsh from Cole Palmer considering he's been doing some wayward passes today, so maybe he's got to look at himself before he starts cussing other people. Caicedo next to the ball. Referee deems that as a foul on the Fluminense player. So free kick to the Brazilian side. Got legends the likes of Kaká, Del Piero, Materazzi in the box watching the game. Little drink break on the 75th minute. 2-0 to the Blues. Double coming from João Pedro, so he's definitely done his job at producing the goods and helps his team into the final for the Sunday. So it should be a good game. Chelsea will be facing either Real Madrid or PSG, unless Fluminense produce a miracle and get back into this game. I do feel like if Fluminense get a goal, definitely shift the momentum because they'll have the more impetus to go again. Ribery in the crowd as well. Could see all the legends. You got Salgado there as well. Nice to see the legends of the game in this uh, fixture, watching it in the crowd. Fluminense, just working hard, trying to make things happen. Can't find a pathway at the minute. Good tackle there from Caicedo. Fucci and Kiki. Chelsea on the counter attack once again. Palmer. Guga does well to hit it onto the Chelsea player there. Goal kick given to the Brazilian side. Oof, I guess risky pass there. Jackson next to ball. Oh, oh, shot from Jackson. Three players in the box. Got selfish. Should have crossed it or squared it to someone. Look at Cole Palmer. Plenty of space in that 6-yard box. Went for goal. I passed him past the ball. Not impressed with Jackson's actions there. 10 more minutes remaining. Still 2-0 to Chelsea. Chelsea took too long with that throw in, so now it's been awarded to the other team. Good turn there. Cole Palmer. Good pass there from Caicedo to Madueke. Lays up to Jackson. Can he shoot? He can, but great block there from Ignacio. He's been on him since the get-go. He's not giving him any space whatsoever. Nice pass there from Thiago Silva. Toto helping Fluminense get a corner kick. Let's see what they're able to produce now. Ronaldo on the ball. Soteldo. Kino to Arias. Tries to hit across there. Blocked by Caicedo. Caicedo's been everywhere today. He would be my man of the match. I think he's been fantastic for Chelsea. Can Fluminense get one goal on the board and try and swing the game their way? Soteldo. Good cross. I the header ends up ricocheting on another teammate into the Fluminense. Unfortunately, went on the went to the wrong player. And Ignacio, no offense to him, but you want your striker to be in that situation, but end up blocking the striker's effort. And the defender has a swing at a shot, or should I say, Thiago Silva to Ignacio. Ignacio unable to turn and hit the ball on target. Andre Santos is coming on for Chelsea, a player very, very highly regarded. So we're interested to see how he performs today. I believe he was on loan at Strasbourg last season and had a decent season for the French side. So a lot of huge expectations for the youngster in this coming season. Dewsbury will also make a cameo in this game. Aggressive tackle there from Ozwrld on Caicedo. Free kick to Chelsea. Got a comment here from Ozzy Kabak. Says Ozzy, imagine you had these six forwards or as our front line today. Um, who would you start? And he's giving me the names. I thought he was referring to the Chelsea lineup, but he's giving me a blast in the past there. He's gone for Ings, Balotelli, Borini, Lambert, Ronin, and Jovanovic. Wow. Some names that I didn't want to resurface in my mind, but yeah, here we are. Okay, in terms of who will I start in my front three? Wow, there are some shocking choices here. Multiple points say Jovanovic, but I thought he was so dead, honestly. Had a decent, I think it was a World Cup against, sorry, for, I think it was Serbia. I remember, I think they played Ghana as well, and people thought he might be um, decent, but yeah, on a free transfer, an expensive one as well. I think it was on like 140K a week. Yeah, complete waste of money. Um, okay, Borini on that left-hand side. Honestly, not the ideal choice, but I'll give him that slot on the right. Wow, who do you put on the right? I am struggling. Borini, could he play? He was normally number 10. Could be used on the right hand side. It would be a makeshift position for him. He was pants though, honestly. He was really good at Leverkusen. I remember watching him in the Champions League thinking, you know what, he's not bad. But when we signed him, I think we signed his brother because that guy could not play football at all. So we got bumped once again, even though it was a free transfer, but I felt like we got bumped. Uh, Lambert was shocking. He was terrible. Balotelli, I liked Balotelli, but the talent was there, but it was just, it was a mentality thing. He didn't want to work for it. He just switched it on whenever he felt like it, and most of the time he didn't feel like it. So, you've got the talent there, but you've got to match it, or I would say even better. So I feel like when it comes to footballers, it's 40% talent and 60% is actually mentality, in my opinion. So, if you don't have the mentality, it doesn't matter how great you are, ability wise. Oh, I'm stuck on this one. Oh, I'm gonna go for Ings on that right hand side. Even though he's not a right winger, but he'll put in a shift and he can be that winger that goes a bit more inside and tries to get onto the near post and score a few tap ins here and there. So I'm going for Ings on the right, up top between Balotelli, Lambert, Brony, Jovanovic. I'm going to go for Balotelli. So just to recap, Mourinho on the left, Ings on the right, and Balotelli up top. Ozzy Kavak, feel free to let me know your selection, please, because I don't know if that's a good selection or not. That's what I would go with. But yeah, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what your front three would be as well. And great question, actually. That definitely made me think how I was set up from a tactical point of view. I'm not saying I'm going to be successful, but we'll see. You never know. Other cover laughing at the selections there. Um, and he says shocking choice is being nice. I was being polite there, to be fair. And I was like, I was going for Barini, Balotelli, and Ings. So you've gone for the same lineup. So big up yourself, but we're definitely on the same wavelength. Most people probably would have gone for Jovanovic just because he's the orthodox left winger, but he was so poor. Honestly, one of the worst signings. Um, he was technically a Benitez signing, wasn't he? From what I remember, but he played under Hodgson. Unfortunately, I still label him as a Hodgson player, even though definitely wasn't signed by Hodgson. But yeah, dark times. Honestly, the only silver lining in that era, in terms of the Hodgson era, was the signing of Raul Mireles. He was the one that actually had a decent career. But then I was very surprised that we sold him after one season, 'cause I thought he did quite well, and then it ends up at Chelsea, and then yeah, pretty much forgotten after that, really, isn't it? So yeah, we had some shocking signs. Poulsen as well, bloody hell, he was. He was awful. Worst signing. And oh, how can I forget Konchesky? The audacity of him joining Liverpool, wearing a Liverpool shirt, and then his mom going reckless with some comments as well. Yeah, that was some dark times there. Honestly, we've gone through a lot of highs and we've gone through a lot of lows, and that was definitely one of the biggest lows, unfortunately. Oh, Kino with the header there for Fluminense, unfortunately, unable to guide it. Ozzie says, Ivanovic and Varane don't deserve to start even in this hypothetical line. It's facts, honestly. Because if you look at some clips of Varane, I remember us facing Bayer Leverkusen. I believe it was like a season before, a couple of seasons before. He actually was the strike partner for Berbatov. So they actually had a formidable partnership, and he was all right. He was one of those players that was energetic, um, and it allowed Berbatov to kind of do his magic on the pitch. But when we signed him, bloody hell, he lost all his pace, all his intelligence. He was a shadow himself, honestly. So yeah, we got mugged up, and he was given number 10 as well. Oh, we were given some poor players, some very iconic numbers in the past. Yeah, and he's one of them. Unfortunately, Jovanovic, he was number 11, wasn't he? I think. Yeah, he was terrible as well. 45 minute for Balotelli, the next 45 for Ricky Lambert if he's not trying. Yeah, but Lambert as well. I feel like Lambert was just that signing felt like he won a competition or something. Being a boyhood dread, I don't feel like he was signed on merit. I remember that signing as well. It was such a random and weird signing from Liverpool. Yes, he's a boyhood dread. I get it, but he wasn't Liverpool standard, unfortunately. So we definitely missed the ball on that one. Do you know what wasn't quite? You just actually gave me an idea. Um, I'm planning on doing some content for members only, so I might do like a like a like a worst 11, but then bring out the players like those type of players onto the pitch, and I have to choose my best 11. So yeah, big up. I'm gonna do a show on that. Um, yeah, it should be interesting. It's gonna be a head scratcher for sure. Just got a couple more minutes. Sanchez with the goal kick. I was like, well, make it a tough choice between bad ex players. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna compile all the worst players that comes to mind, and to make it even interesting, I have to have a bench as well of those awful players. So that's a great idea. So thank you for your help on that one. I'll definitely do the show like that. It'll be entertaining as well because you're definitely gonna see me scratching my head, or you'll see my face being puzzled and trying to think of a system that will fit well. There'll be lots of pauses as I'm trying to think, is this gonna work or not? But yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it. It'll be a good laugh. And I'm sure a lot of those players will be from that Hodgson era as well, which is, yeah, not ideal, but it is what it is. Yeah. Or the classic, imagine the midfield. Oh my days. We had some shocking ones. We did. We did have some shocking ones, to be fair. But the names that you mentioned, Nuri Sahin, he wasn't bad. I just felt like he got misused by Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers played him as a number 10. Oh, Evaldo, aka Eve, almost. scored a spectacular effort there for Fluminense, but unfortunately hits it over the bar. Signing wasn't a bad player. I was actually quite excited when we signed him on loan from Real Madrid, but he got players in number 10. We ended up shipping him back to Dortmund in January, didn't we? So, yeah, that didn't work out. Aquilani as well. Yeah, if you look at his Liverpool career, it was a bit of a failure, but yeah, it was our mistake. We signed him to replace Xabi Alonso, but we bought him when he was injured. So why sign an injured player? So that's a huge mistake from Liverpool's point of view. Poulsen, yeah, he's he's a strong contender, honestly, to be in that lineup because he was poor. Oh my god. Like Aquilani, I remember him having a couple of good games. I remember him playing, it was in the Europa League. I want to say it was against Atletico Madrid. I feel like he had a really good cameo there. Nuri Sahin had different spells here and there, scored a couple of decent goals. Poulsen, I don't really have much positive to say about Poulsen. Um, he was poor, honestly. And he was so washed up when we signed him. Like he wasn't even a few years back. I think he had a decent sort of career playing in different teams all over Europe. And I think he was actually managed by Hodgson at one point as well. But he was not the standard that we were after. So yeah, he was a shocker. So I'll definitely be drafting up some names today. Um, so what I'll do a first 11, and then I'll do 6 substitutes, but then I'll have 20 players to choose from, so I'm not maxing it out, if that makes sense. And yeah, see who I come up with. Um, and I think there will be sort of outstanding choices where majority of us will agree that these guys were flops because some fans might, have some good memories of these players. The names that we've mentioned here, I doubt anyone would have good memories of those players, but you never know, isn't it? Some players might resonate well with certain players due to I don't know if they're from the same country or affiliation or whatnot. Fluminense, can they have a shot on goal? He can't find it. He can, but unfortunately, Lima hits it over the bar, and that should be the last effort. Um, we've played way over the minutes now, so the game should be called to an end. And also, because the goalkeepers too, yeah. So I'm gonna have quite a few goalkeepers, and the name you mentioned as well. Charles Itanje, yeah, I remember him. Unfortunately, not probably the right moment to describe his career in terms of as a Liverpool player, but he was the clown that was dancing in the memorial service for Hillsborough, wasn't he, at Anfield? What a pro! I think after that, we sacked him, I think, didn't we? He wasn't no longer a player after that, so he was a proper idiot. So yeah. Big up to Ozzy Kabak for being our first YouTube member. Big up yourself. Appreciate your support there. I did make this as a promise when I was, monetized to do this. Every new member that joins FTP I will be donating £1 to charity. So I'll be doing a donation at the end of this month. So thank you for becoming a new member. Really, really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll have a laugh, I guess, in regards to this upcoming show. I'll probably try and do it soon. Probably at some point this week or next week. But I'm gonna draft up the names and then yeah, that'll probably be one of the first shows that we do. So yeah, please look out for that. Appreciate your support there. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Oz and Kabak for your comments. Really, really appreciate it. As well as DJ Valres. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will be doing a show very, very short in about 25 minutes at 10:30 where we'll be discussing some of the transfer rumors rumbling on the areas right now. So the likes of Diaz being linked with a move to Bayern Munich. Ozan Kabak mentioned earlier today that he's handed a transfer request, which is alarm bells, to be honest with you. We'll also speak about a potential replacement, and that's been earmarked as um, Rodrigo as one of the names. There are other names, which we will discuss together as well. And then you've got Darwin Nunes. Apparently, we've rejected a bid of 50 million euros, which I believe in pounds is just over 40 million pounds. So the big question is, you know, the rumor is that Napoli will make another bid. So, should Liverpool accept it or not, due to, unfortunately, the unforeseen circumstances of Jota passing away? Do we need Nunes to stay at the club? That's something we could talk about as well. And unfortunately, we're still getting news regarding Konate, and it's the same news we've been hearing for the last 3 weeks, and that is that he will be potentially leaving Liverpool on a free transfer and joining Real Madrid, our arch rivals, unfortunately. So, yeah, lots to discuss. So feel free to tune in. Not too long to go. We've got about just over 20 minutes, and then we can have a good chat about these rumors. And if there's anything else that anyone wants to chat about, feel free to contribute in the live chat as well. Last comment from Ozwrld comment says, "All good, bro. I enjoy the great content. Appreciate the kind words and appreciate your support as always. Thank you so much, guys, and come back." And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak to you guys very, very shortly. Goodbye.